Nairobi wakes beneath a wide East African sky. From above, Kenya's capital appears dense, modern and constantly moving. Office towers, hotels and residential buildings stretch toward the horizon. Yet beyond the streets and traffic lies something unexpected: open wilderness. Our journey begins in the city, at the Radisson Blu in Upper Hill. Inside, the atmosphere is calm. Breakfast is simple: fruit, yogurt, eggs, juice and tea, fuel for a morning that will soon leave the city behind. Today, we are traveling into one of Kenya's most remarkable landscapes, where wild animals still roam within sight of the capital. The journey begins through Nairobi's outer districts. The city gradually loosens its grip. Buildings become fewer, the road opens, and the landscape starts to change. Pavement gives way to grassland, fences and scattered trees. Kenya Wildlife Service signs mark our arrival. Beyond this point, the rhythm of the city is replaced by another rhythm, slower, quieter and governed by rainfall, vegetation and the movement of animals. We have entered Nairobi National Park. The entrance passes through dense woodland. Here, tall trees and thick vegetation create a cool, enclosed corridor. Small birds move along the roadside, while guinea fowl search the ground for seeds, insects and fallen plant material. These darker forested areas provide shelter for many species. They also form an important transition between the urban boundary and the open savanna beyond. Safari vehicles move slowly through the park. Raised roofs allow visitors to observe wildlife without leaving the protection of the vehicle. Inside the reserve, patience matters. Animals may be hidden only a few meters away, concealed by grass, branches or shadows. Water shapes every part of this ecosystem. Seasonal rivers, wetlands and small lakes support a remarkable variety of life. Reeds rise from shallow water, while water lilies spread across the surface. These areas offer drinking water to mammals and feeding grounds to birds. They also provide cover for smaller animals and breeding habitats for amphibians, insects and aquatic species. In the dry season, water sources become gathering points. In wetter periods, the grasslands recover and animals spread across a much wider area. The landscape may appear still, but beneath the surface, it is constantly changing. The forest opens into a vast expanse of grass. This is the savannah, an ecosystem shaped by grazing animals, fire, rainfall and seasonal growth. The sky hangs low and gray, creating soft light across the plains. Dirt tracks curve through tall grass, while isolated acacia trees break the horizon. In this environment, visibility is survival. Prey animals depend on open ground to detect danger. Predators depend on grass, distance and patience to approach unseen. Every movement has meaning. A raised head, a sudden pause or a group turning in the same direction may signal that something nearby has changed. Ahead, the road is blocked, not by traffic, but by ostriches. The ostrich is the largest living bird on Earth. Although it cannot fly, it is built for speed. Its long, powerful legs can carry it rapidly across open ground, while its height gives it an excellent view of the surrounding landscape. The darker bird is an adult male. His black feathers and contrasting pale wing feathers make him easy to recognize. The lighter gray-brown birds are females or younger individuals, whose coloring provides better camouflage. They cross without urgency, seemingly unconcerned by the waiting vehicles. Here, the animals have the right of way. Farther into the grasslands, zebras appear among the bushes. Their stripes are among the most recognizable patterns in nature. Each zebra carries a unique arrangement, much like a fingerprint. When standing together, the overlapping stripes can make it difficult to distinguish one individual from another. This may confuse predators, especially when the herd begins to move. Nearby, antelope feed quietly in the tall grass. The males are distinguished by the curved, ridged horns. Their alert posture reveals how carefully they monitor the environment. Grazing provides energy, but lowering the head also reduces visibility, so feeding animals repeatedly stop to look and listen. For herbivores, survival is a balance between nourishment and vigilance. Above the vegetation, a familiar silhouette begins to rise. A giraffe moves through the scrub, its long neck visible before the rest of its body appears. Giraffes are highly adapted browsers. Their height allows them to reach leaves that remain inaccessible to most other herbivores. Their long tongues and tough mouths help them feed among thorny branches. From a distance, their movement seems slow and effortless, but their size can be deceptive. When necessary, giraffes can travel quickly and defend themselves with powerful kicks. For now, this one continues calmly through the vegetation, feeding as it goes. Then, partially concealed by the grass, one of Africa's most powerful animals comes into view. The rhinoceros. Its heavy body, thick skin and prominent horn give it a prehistoric appearance. But despite its strength, the rhinoceros remains vulnerable. Rhinos depend heavily on protected habitats and active conservation. Their horns have made them targets for illegal wildlife trade, and their survival requires constant monitoring and protection. Seeing them here is not only an extraordinary wildlife encounter, It is also a reminder of the people working behind the scenes, rangers, conservationists, researchers and local communities, whose efforts help keep these animals alive. The rhinos remain close together, almost disappearing into the dry grass. Even an animal this large can become surprisingly difficult to see. Not every memorable encounter involves a giant. A warthog appears above the grass, watching from a distance. These animals are tougher and more agile than their appearance suggests. When threatened, they can run quickly, often holding their tails upright like small flags. Along the track, a brightly colored bird lands on the ground. Its metallic blue and green feathers stand out against the earth. Guinea fowl move in small groups near the vegetation, crossing the road with quick, deliberate steps. These smaller species are essential parts of the ecosystem. They spread seeds, control insect populations, and provide food for larger animals. The savannah depends not on one species, but on thousands of connections between them. One of the most striking features of this park is the contrast. Wildlife moves across the foreground, while the signs of Nairobi remain visible in the distance. Ostriches walk beside safari vehicles. Zebras graze beneath a cloudy sky. Rhinos rest in tall grass, only a short journey from busy roads, offices and neighborhoods. This closeness creates both opportunity and responsibility. Protected areas preserve vital habitat, but animals do not understand human boundaries. Their future depends on maintaining migration routes, reducing conflict, and ensuring that expanding cities leave room for nature. Nairobi National Park stands as proof that wilderness can survive beside a modern capital, but only through continued protection. As the game drive comes to an end, the road stretches back across the plains. The animals continue with the day, largely indifferent to our departure. A safari is often described as a search for wildlife. But the deeper experience is learning how to observe, watching the grass for movement, listening to birds, studying the horizon and understanding that every animal belongs to a much larger system. Here, excitement does not always arrive with noise. Sometimes it is the quiet appearance of a giraffe above the trees, the sudden sight of a rhinoceros in the grass, or an ostrich stepping calmly onto the road, bringing an entire convoy to a stop. For a few hours, the city felt far away, and the wild felt very close.